Okay, here's the deal. A ton has changed since MoP Remix first launched, and the good news is, for most of us, it is actually a major improvement. Now, for today's video, the thing that I care about is getting my War Within alt army ready. So, leveling up more classes on my current server, and unlocking a whole bunch of missing heritage armors. And honestly, speed today is utterly mind-blowing. I've got one really busted method for you. It's actually insane. The other one, though, is far more regular, that is mostly just benefiting from the various different changes Blizzard have made over the last fortnight. I'll start us off with a proper legit one that definitely won't get nerfed, and as for the other one, maybe it will, because it relies on Blizzard's rather wonky scaling and the level 20 cap that is on trial characters. It's straight up insane, but hey, even if they do nerf that, don't worry, MoP Remix is still blazing fast, just like today's sponsor. Where we're all going to save some money together, so I recently found out that I was being charged every month for Microsoft 365 Family, which I have not used in a very long time. That really stung, but the good news is that Rocket Money is actually here to help. Rocket Money is a personal finance tool that helps you lower your bills, stay on top of subscriptions, and manage your money. And you can get started for free today at rocketmoney.com/Bellular Warcraft. So subscriptions then. Rocket Money securely and safely identifies recurring charges for you. With that done, you can cancel them in just a few taps. So if that's been on your to-do list, then yeah, Rocket Money can make that extremely easy, and you can do it today. What about bills? Because bills suck. Lowering them is a real pain in the ass, because that negotiation means spending hours of your life listening to hold music on a phone line, which sucks. Well, you can upload your bills and Rocket Money will help you negotiate them, which is an amazing time saver. They do more too, like helping you budget, and so far they've actually saved their customers up to $740 a year, and they've had over $500 million in cancelled subscriptions, which is amazing. So, if you want to save more and spend less, you can join the over 5 million people using Rocket Money today at rocketmoney.com/Bellular Warcraft, or you can just click the link in the description to get started for free. You can also then unlock even more features with premium, so that's rocketmoney.com/Bellular to get started for free today. Thanks then for sponsoring. Let's go. Okay, to make the most of things, the first thing you have to do is hit a few milestones on your main time runner, and it really is quite simple. The first big thing is to unlock Infinite Power 12. This is an achievement, and you get it by just getting 4,200 threads on your cloak. Doing this will give your alts the best possible cloak that they can have at level 10, which is basically 150 main stat, 150 verse, and a plus 100% XP gain. Of course, not all stats pass over, but that's the best you can do. Then as you progress that achievement on your main by just doing content, well, the other things you want to do is unlock a whole bunch of jewelry. The reason why here is because if you do the achievements to unlock jewelry in your main, then your alts will be able to just buy that stuff from the vendor. One ring is from doing every heroic scenario, the other is from doing every heroic dungeon. The beacon trinket is from doing the patch 5.1 campaign in Krasarang Wilds. The good news is, it's a really awesome campaign. The other trinket is from hitting 70 with your time running character, though it isn't account wide. And finally, the amulet is for clearing all normal raids. Now, of course, these aren't required, but they're a pretty damn nice power boost for alts. They just give you loads of prismatic sockets. Now, Blizzard recently buffed the earning of threads. That makes Infinite Power 12 super easy to earn. As an example, daily heroic and normal dungeons and scenarios drop like 100 threads each at max level. The Infinite Bazaar daily quests all drop a whole bunch of those threads as well. If you need to just go and get a bunch of fast threads, you could also just go and do all of the world bosses, because they drop legendary quality spools. Those have got 180 threads, and you can do them all daily, which is 1,080 threads. Yeah, you can get this way easier than at the start. Once you're at Infinite Power 12 though, it is time to build your alt army, and here is what you should do on those characters. Dragonriding is of course much faster, so get that stuff equipped on your hotbars and save a trip to the trainer by just using the console command in this video description to bring up the talent window. Now, while not core to today's video, I will point out you can earn about 5,000 bronze an hour, as well as a whole bunch of threads, by just flying into the bronze balls. Like, it is way more powerful than I thought it would be. Anyway, next, you gotta get your gear sorted. Remember that jewelry from earlier? Well, any jewelry unlocked in your main can be purchased by alts over at the Infinite Bazaar. These only cost 10 bronze, so they're basically free, and they get you a total of 15 more prismatic sockets. That's enough to make you feel totally OP, and a fun quirk of time running is the gems are actually not character bound, and that does mean, because of course you can't use mail, if you can find a trustworthy friend, or maybe you have another WoW account, then you can pass your tricked out gems over to your alts. But anyway, with that said, let's talk about the full regular method, the best way to level up your whole alt army. On any new character, your first goal is to reach level 25 because that gets you into LFR. Mogashan Vault has 2 wings, unlocks at level 25. Heart of Fear also has 2 wings and unlocks at level 35. The 1-wing Terrace of the Eternal Springs unlocks at level 40. Throne of Thunder's 4 wings unlock at level 50, and Siege of Orgrimmar's 4 unlock at level 60. Now LFR is important because every wing grants you a 7% XP bonus, which is pretty damn awesome. You get in the form of just an item that you can use, and that's given to you after you complete the wing. Of course, on top of that, you'll get like loot and threads from the bosses. Now the main reward here, the 7% bonus, is on the LFGQ reward thingy. So basically, do these daily and you will have an absolutely insane cloak in no time. And to make that even faster, be sure to queue right. First, you can queue for up to 7 LFR wings at a time. A lot of people don't actually know this because if you try to queue up for too many at once, like 3 right after each other, basically the game's UI doesn't accept it. But if you wait a few more seconds, you can then go into another queue up to a total of 7. So even if one queue says 15 minutes, if you are queuing for 7 wings at once, yeah, it's basically going to be instantaneous. And this really is powerful. Like, by the time you finish the wing that you're currently in, you'll pretty much instantly get into another one. You are doing LFR back to back to back. Of course, if you can tank or heal, then even better. Your queues, rather than being almost non-existent, they basically will be non-existent. So that's where playing a hybrid will be really handy. And as for LFR, if the idea spooks you because you don't like doing LFR in live, yeah, do not worry here. They are insane. They take absolutely no time. You'll usually have a few very powerful players with you with massive cloaks. Like literally, bosses are dying in 30 seconds, sometimes less. It is absolutely bonkers. Now, the other thing is that in normal mode, you get 12% XP per boss, and that is, of course, far better than 7% per wing. But that being said, that depends on you finding a decent group, getting into that dungeon with that group. Really, for many people, just batch wholesale slaughter of LFR wings is a really great choice. For a quick example, here's something that I did on my first character, which was at level 60. It only had a 92% cloak. Of course, by the time any of your alts get to this stage, they could have 250% cloaks, maybe 200, 300% cloaks, absolute madness. But anyway, with my little DK with its 92% cloak, in 30 minutes of gameplay, I was able to clear 4 entire LFR wings. I got a whole level of XP, I got 6k bronze, lots of cloak power, so many threads, and my XP went up from like 92% to 132%, which is super fast. Now, I would normally recommend flying around for bronze in between your LFR queues, and maybe if you're doing this late at night and there's not that many people on, but at least for me, like, these queues were popping so damn fast that you just couldn't do anything in between them. So in summary, LFR is unbelievably fast, it is amazing bang for your buck, and it will level your cloak quick. So, now that you know how things work, let's talk about approach. If efficiency is the name of the game and you want a whole army of alts, then doing those daily LFRs really is the best idea. They will very quickly level you up in terms of time played, and by the time you're hitting those higher levels where the XP required to level up is actually quite high, you'll probably have something mad like a 300% cloak. So, I would recommend doing these LFRs daily, and if you want a break, well, either play a totally different video game or just pick up a character with a pretty well boosted up cloak in terms of its bonus XP and just blast it all the way up to level 70. As an example, I'd heavily recommend you do that, perhaps with the patch 5.1 campaign and also the Throne of Thunder campaign, because if you do those, you unlock the ability to purchase the class ensembles that were put onto the trading post in late 2023. Those otherwise would cost you a whole bunch of tender, and with the amount of bronze you're going to be earning from today's video, like the 3,000 and 4,000 cost for the 3 armor pieces and then the sets of weapons, that'll be utterly negligible. So let's just talk about bronze. Okay, characters get 3,000 free bronze at level 50, 7,000 at level 60, and 30,000 at level 70. That, of course, absolutely supercharges your bronze gains. It's kind of wild, and if you're here just for the cosmetics, not the endgame power, it's amazing. Of course, that's 40,000 on top of all of the bronze that you'll be earning on these characters. So if from level 10 to 25 you're maybe doing a whole bunch of dungeons, right? Well, those dungeons, when you complete them, boom, an achievement will pop. That will get you some bronze. And so on and so forth as you do all of your different dailies from the Infinite Bazaar, that basically means you will be utterly swimming in bronze. And in a world where Blizzard are, of course, nerfing loads of different hyperspawn farm points, well, just doing something like this that is very reliable, that's not really cheesing any game mechanics, that's a really safe bet. And also do remember, you've got until August, right? So chipping away at a few characters a day will very quickly have you with more level 70s than you know what to do with. As will the completely busted method. Let's do that next. Okay, so this has been going for days. Blizzard are absolutely aware of it. So far, it hasn't been nerfed. It is really fast, so here's how things work. What you can do is you can spam the heroic dungeon queue with a pre-made group. So that just means no queues and you can play in a coordinated way. But the thing that breaks it is the use of a trial World of Warcraft account. And that's because characters on those trial accounts can play MoP Remix, but they are capped at level 20. And when a character is capped at level 20, and say you're a very high level, it breaks the game scaling. Now, you might have noticed this, maybe if you've been on a high-level character and you've grouped up with a low-level character. You kind of notice the low-level character is doing completely nutty damage in comparison to you. It's totally wild, and that's even without optimized gems. With a few key tinkers, you can actually make this even more insane. As an example, say you've got Searing Light, which is super powerful, you've got a bunch of AoE ones like Meteor Storm, Explosive Barrage, maybe some of the ones that like trigger when an enemy dies, maybe like Brittle or Victory Fire. If you have that on that low-level character and you're blasting through dungeons, it will melt things. So what you do here is you make a trial World of Warcraft account. You then log into both your trial and your main account on 2 different WoW clients. And by the way, you can make a trial account by just going into your battle.net account settings page. So, you do that, you group up with your trial character, you can see us doing it here in the footage. That character is limited to level 20. That, of course, limits the dungeon pool to Scarlet Halls, Monastery, Scholomance, Temple of the Jade Serpent, and of course Storm Stout Brewery, which all, thankfully, are pretty fast, pretty simple dungeons. Now, in case you're worrying about multi-boxing being banned, no. Multi-boxing is when you are using, basically, creative use of hardware and software to control multiple World of Warcraft accounts at the same time. It is completely legal and within the terms of service to have 2 WoW instances up on your computer logged into 2 different accounts. You just cannot be doing any automation of any form. Anyhow, the idea then is you just pull as much trash as you can, ideally onto the bosses, and then you melt them. And it's just wild how doable this is. You end up knocking out dungeons in under 5 minutes apiece, sometimes like 3 minutes or 2 minutes. It's insane. And it makes this some of the fastest leveling World of Warcraft has ever seen. Of course, all aided by that delicious trial character who will be stuck at level 20, ensuring the scaling is always busted. You will get between 1 and 3 levels per run, and in our example, Dakor and our team tested this out with a few characters. He reported back getting from level 10 to level 32 in just 10 dungeons. Now, you might think of the normal speed of a dungeon, but because of all of this busted scaling, those 10 dungeons took him about 30 minutes. Like seriously, when he dropped the notes on me, I was kind of shocked, almost in disbelief. It was that fast. In fact, so fast that it reminds me of the busted days of the Legion pre-expansion event. What a mad time that was. Now, of course, that was from level 10 to 32. You would expect that to slow down as you level, and of course, you end up needing more XP to level up. But do remember, you're also going to be earning more cloak XP, right? Your cloak will get better and better, and that will somewhat erode the sort of inflation of XP needed per level. And that does mean that 10 through to 70 can be done in a matter of hours if you are using this method. So there you go. I hope you find this to be useful. Personally, I'm going to be getting my War Within alt army because, funny enough, WoW is pretty damn alt-friendly these days and is going to be very alt-friendly in the War Within. I just want to play way more characters. I'm excited for that. I've got loads of Heritage armors to unlock, but some in our team are at max level. They're at endgame. They've got very big cloaks, so let me know if you would like a dive into the madness that is endgame MoP Remix. But that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.